Tonight's big stories and tomorrow's forecast from the region's most watched news team. This is WDBJ 7 at 10 on WZBJ 24.
And I compared the loss of this school to the loss of Notre Dame in Paris. That's what it meant to people in Bedford.
Now at 10, a local landmark is barely standing tonight after an early morning blaze.
It's a dark day for us. I thank God that nobody was injured.
Firefighters have been on scene for hours working to put out hot spots and salvage what they can. What they're doing next to save this building. Good evening. The Old Bedford Middle School was more than just a building to the people of Bedford, and tonight police are looking for who set it on fire. Thanks for joining us. I'm Melissa Gayona.
And I'm Logan Sherrill. New at 10 this evening, we are getting an up-close look at the damage inside the building. The walls, they are still standing, but inside you can see it's barely recognizable.
The roof was completely missing after the fire. The inside just littered with ashes. Tonight, fire officials are concerned it could collapse altogether. WDBJ 7's Eric Miller is live outside the Old Bedford Middle School. Eric, it still looks pretty active outside where you are.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Melissa. You can see here behind me a new set of crews now coming on scene. Folks here trying to stabilize what remains of the old middle school. The danger earlier, of course, was from flames now extinguished. The big concern now, water and gravity pulling this structure down to the ground.
55 Squad 6, 9426, structure fire, 503 Longwood Avenue.
The sun both rose and set with the Old Bedford Middle School burning. Fire crews battling flames here for nearly 24 hours. In total, more than 100,000 gallons of water poured into the structure. Fire companies from Bedford and beyond joining forces in the effort.
We're just focusing on cooling everything off so we don't have any type of rekindle.
Bedford County Fire Marshal Leo George saying while the flames are mostly out, this remains a dangerous situation.
It's unsafe right now for us to get our investigations team in to where we need to be.
Unsafe because after burning for hours, at least one wall on the building's southeast side is threatening to collapse. U.S. Steel is being brought in to help fix that.
So that company is going to be coming in and building a steel wall to support the wall that's currently there. They will tie in together and hopefully make everything structurally sound.
George says he doesn't expect that work to be completed until noon Friday. Only then will investigators be allowed inside, searching for the cause of the fire and any evidence of this man captured on security and now wanted in what's become an arson investigation.
It's a sickening feeling that we've had this happen in our community. And we are looking forward to any help to locate the subject that did this.
All day and night, residents of Bedford stopped by, watching fire crews work on a structure that meant so much to this community. According to George, it hasn't been any easier for those fighting the flames, but he says they stand with and for Bedford as their work continues.
We feel for the community, and we want the community to know that we're doing this for them.
Now, temperatures here in Bedford tonight are near freezing, and that raises the possibility of some of the water that was sprayed on this structure earlier tonight freezing, expanding, and weakening things further. Fortunately, officials say the chances of that happening are low tonight, but they are staying here and keeping an eye on it just to be safe. Melissa?
Eric, some powerful video in your story there, and really drives home just how long those crews are going to be out there working to clean all this up. Eric, thank you. Now, for so many people in Bedford, the fire at Bedford Middle School was like the loss of a family member. The building has stood on a prominent hill in the town for more than 90 years. It served as a high school until 1964 and was the town's elementary school until 1989. Generations of Bedford families either went to school or know someone who attended classes there.
You know, this morning I compared the loss of this school to the loss of Notre Dame in Paris. That's what it meant to people in Bedford.
Among the historic features lost in this morning's fire was the building's iconic cupola. The auditorium was also destroyed, a space previously known for hosting a range of community events.
The developer who planned to transform the school building into apartments is remaining positive tonight. Dave McCormick called the fire just a setback in his overall plans. He's been speaking with people all day and says that their stories about the school are inspiring him even more to move ahead with the multi-million-dollar redevelopment.
Oh, it's amazing to, even in a devastating situation like this, to meet people out on the street that went to school here, that are upset that this is happening, but telling their stories and everyone gathering around and supporting each other through a time like this. So that just, you know, makes you even more convicted about what we're doing and why we're doing it.
McCormick says his company has redeveloped buildings in far worse shape than the burned out school building. Over the next few months, his team will be evaluating the state of the building and adjusting their plans accordingly. And WDBJ7 has been following this story since early this morning. You can see all of our coverage so far on our website, news app, and our Facebook page. We have some breaking news to get to right now. The fire at the Old Bedford Middle School has rekindled.
Here is a live picture for you right now. You can see it has definitely rekindled significantly here. Not that long ago, we heard from Eric Miller, who is live on the scene here, who's providing this live shot for us. And we were just talking about how crews were going to be monitoring these hot spots. And this is why. This is a good example. These things can rekindle, and I mean, you can see the flames look pretty significant there.
And that's one of the things Eric was talking about also throughout the day. We're coming, Mel, close to 24 hours since this fire initially started around 3 a.m. earlier this morning. Over 100,000 gallons of water have been poured onto that middle school, which is almost 100 years old. It's been an elementary school, a middle school, a high school, really a staple to the entire Bedford community. We've heard from folks all day today about the stories, the generations of their family that have walked those halls. And this here, we see the flames, even from just a few minutes ago, right before we came back to Brent's weather forecast, how small the flame was to where it is now, and it's massive.
Yeah, you can see they're trying to get the fire out right now. One of the problems that Eric was talking about earlier this evening was, you know, you got to remember the temperatures out there. It's pretty cold, temperatures freezing, so you do have to worry about what all that water will do, you know, and how it can be a little dangerous for those firefighters who are going to be out there for a majority of the night, it looks like.
And thankfully, we did have the secondary crew that came in to relieve these firefighters throughout the evening, because I believe 5, 6 different stations throughout the day that have been out there, dozens upon dozens of firefighters. And this was the possibility that at any point of the night it could come back, and it looks like they might be able to knock it down a little bit right now. Yeah,
they definitely know what they're doing. They know what to expect. And man, you know, you can't help but feel for the people in Bedford who are watching this right now. You know, not only, Logan, you touched on how this has been a staple. We heard earlier a man say that it's like the Notre Dame Cathedral to the people in Bedford, you know? This has just been a staple for them. And even if they didn't go to school here, other people they know may have. And also, you got to keep in mind, they've held public events inside this building. So just the meaning that this means to those folks having to watch this rekindle, it can kind of bring back some of that emotion from watching some of that horrific, powerful video that we saw earlier today. All right, again, if you're just joining us, a rekindled fire there at the Old Bedford Middle School fire. We will have more on this tonight at 11. We'll be right back after this break.